Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. We are seeing Param Poojya Guruji's composition Shri Chinmaya Naamaamrit Stotram, in which 108 names are strung together in 20 verses, including plus 2 of introduction. So in that we are in 10th verse, which goes like Tapasvi Tapanashanas Tirtha Swarupayevahi Tejasvi Sarvalokeshu Tehadita Sadaiva Saha. And we saw Tapasvi and Tapanashan. Now Tirtha Swarupa. Tirtha is a holy water, sacred river, or any other water body like Ganga Sagar or Bindu Sarovar, etc. So Tirtha Swarupa is a place of pilgrimage and very pious and auspicious, and which purifies others. Taranti Anena iti Tirtha. So after going to which place, after being at which place, and after taking bath and doing all other devotional rituals at which place, one crosses over this ocean of change, ocean of plurality. That is Tirtha. And how that Tirtha, how that place is become sacred, how that is made sacred. Sacred. So it is said that Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. When great souls, great devotees of Lord and realized saints, they travel and they stay, they reside at one place. So that comes to be a pilgrimage place in the latter period. So in this way, their knowledge, their devotion, and their dedicated work for society's welfare, that makes one place a holy place of pilgrimage. And Gurudev himself was such a auspicious personality. And it is said that in Atma Bodh also, Nadesha, Kala, Diga, any place or time or any direction is not auspicious, but one's self. Yasvatma tirtham bhajate vinishkriya sa sarva gato mruto bhavati. One who realizes one's own self as the self of all. That sarvatmya bhav which one attains. So that itself becomes very sacred. And each and everything related to such a great person, the things that he uses, the places that he sees and touches, where he stays, where he takes Mahasamadhi, that all becomes places of pilgrimage, holy places. In this way, Param Poojya Gurudev himself was a place of pilgrimage as if. Someday someone asked him, you keep traveling all the way, today in this city, tomorrow in another city, don't you get bored of this travel? So Gurudev said, I am at one place. I do not move even an inch anywhere. These cities, these places come in front of me and go. So he is ever established in that permanent, unchangeable, which is Dhruva Nishchal Adhar Achal, non-moving state. Tirtha Swarupa Evahi. And as people flock to a place of pilgrimage to wash off their sins and to get their merit increased and thereby gaining happiness, same way people used to flock in crowds of thousands for Gurudev's discourses and to meet him, to see him, to be with him. They used to travel hundreds of kilometers just to have a 10 minutes darshan of him, keeping aside all their other appointments. So in this way, Tirtha Swarupa eva hi Tejasvi Sarvalokeshu Dehatita Sadaiva Saha. So Tejasvi and Dehatita, two names are there in this line. Tejasvi is bright, brilliant and splendorous, effulgent. And this is not physical light but the light of awareness, consciousness, of the knowledge of the self. So thereby each and every cell, each and every porous will emit that light. This is not the bright skin acquired by eating cashew nuts and almonds or by going to beauty parlor and doing facial and mud pack etc. But this is the luster of self-knowledge. It is called Brahma Varchas, brilliance of that Supreme Self, which gets emitted through you because of complete purification that happens during the spiritual practice, which is the first step for this knowledge. Tejasvi Sarvalokeshu Dehatita Sadaiva Saha. Param Poojya Gurudev also, when especially he in the morning hours after meditation, when he used to come out, at one place also it is described that he has to do the consecration of a temple, and for that he came out, and he was so much bathed in that light as if that he himself was like a god, and then his mere presence transformed all the atmosphere and people's mind. Whether a person knows his greatness or not, whether he has read about him or heard about him or not, but just his first darshan, that also used to have a lot of impact on any person. Tejasvi Sarvalokeshu. On Mahashivratri day also, when he used to come out of deep meditation on Lord Shiva, he used to be like that dazzling light itself. Dehadita Sadaiva Saha, and he is beyond body. He used his body as mere instrument for his work. He used to say, after a work of 10-12 hours, he used to say, now this body needs rest, so for 10 minutes, let it lie down. So completely third person view and address to this body. Dehadetas. Once it happened that some people were taking pictures, photos, and he said, don't take. But still, adamantly, they took pictures, and surprisingly, all other things and people came in that photo, but not Gurudev. Dehadita, he was beyond body, and therefore he had full mastery over that body, and he could use that body very efficiently as one uses his vehicle. Tejasvi Sarvalokeshu Dehatita Sadaiva Saha. Further, Guruji says, Dvandvathitas tathayvayam nityam cha drudha nishchayaha dharma samsthapako dhiman dhiro dhairya pradascha saha. Dvandvatita, beyond the pairs of opposites, beyond all two things like praise and insult, failure and success, loss and profit, cold and heat. Like this, whatever pairs of opposites are there, so he was beyond that, Dvandvatita. And that's what the essential or necessity for spiritual path is told in Bhagavad Gita chapter 15. Nirmana mohajita sangadosha dvandva vimukta sukalka saudnir. All other pairs of opposite ultimately result in feeling joy or sorrow, and going beyond that, going beyond this duality, and then seeing from it with equal feeling, equality. So by that we can cut asunder this tree of the world existence here, which is just apparent in our thought only. By that detachment which we get by when we settle in that equality, when we go beyond duality. Dvandvatita. As a person would see the praise and insult in dream, after he awakes, how the person will see. So in the same way, when Param Poojya Gurudev was awakened to his own self, naturally he was transported to that realm of consciousness which is beyond pairs of opposites. Dvandvatitas tatheva ayam nityam cha drudha nishchayaha. And firm determination. When he decides something, and he was always firm on that. In the beginning, before this initiation into renunciation, etc., he stayed at Badrinath for about a month, and there he contemplated fully, and then came to a firm decision of renouncing name and fame and all happiness that come out of indulgence, and then he took sannyas, and he ever remained steadfast on that. So one with a firm determination, drudha nishchaya, and that was the willpower, that was the source of strength. When really so many big projects that he completed during his lifetime, and even afterwards also through Guruji. Dharma samsthapakaha, Param Poojya Gurudev is the one who established righteousness. Like Bhagavan Shri Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuga yuga. To establish the righteousness, to keep a check on evil forces, and to help the goodness prevail and the life according to the scriptures. That should be the common way of practice. Therefore, I come. So same with Dharma Samsthapaka, Param Poojya Gurudev also, in all sense of the term, he always nurtured our culture, heritage, our age-old way of living, philosophy brought into practice, and thereby he established Dharma. Dharma Samsthapakam. Whatever changes according to the time, recent time, modern time, those were also accepted, but still the spirit, the inner core, that was kept same based on oneness of the self. So in this way, Dharma Samsthapako, he built so many temples and all this way of worship, etc. he fixed for it. By other way also, he appreciated and encouraged the followers of the rituals, etc. He is the one who brought on one stage the philosophers, saints and sages of that time, and it then afterwards was resulted in Vishwa Hindu Parishad, foundation of Vishwa Hindu Parishad. He was the founder, president of that, and that was done in Pawai, Sandipani Sadhanalaya. Dharma Samsthapako, Dhiman, one who has great intellect, very subtle, pure, penetrating intellect Gurudev had, and his wit was always seen on his instant reply and rapt answer. One day one person came and said, said to Gurudev, "Oh Gurudev, you see, yours and mine date of birth, month are same. Only 1 year's difference is there in the year. Otherwise, date and birth is month is same." Immediately Gurudev said, "And see the difference. Means where you are now and where I am now." He was the liar. Once one person introduced him a interior decorator, and Gurudev said, "It is good to decorate your interior." And that famous episode described in his On a Quest movie on his life biopic. One person came to have his signature and message, and he asked naturally, "What is your name?" So he said, "Raja Ram." So he said, became Raja outward and Ram inside. In Amar Chitra Katha, on his life, designed on his life, there are also so many incidences where wit and the wordplay is seen. Once while coming from foreign tour, at custom checkup, after checking all his baggages, etc., they asked him, "Do you want to declare anything? Have you brought anything from foreign countries abroad?" And he said, "Yes, I have smuggled many hearts with me." Whatever topic is there, that all he used to abbreviate in very few words. One day a woman asked her, "Please tell me in gist, very short, what is the essence of Vedanta?" So he said, "Detach and attach. Detach from the not self and attach to the self, which is truth. In truth you are." Like these episodes are many. So Dharma Samsthapako Dhiman, he used to tell any point with so many examples, and that audience can relate with them, and that way he will hammer the point or bring home that point to them. Dharma Samsthapako Dhiman Dhiraha and Dhairya Pradascha. He himself was courageous and he always gave that courage to others. He always encouraged others. In the organization, after I founded Chinmaya Mission, so many times it happened that any other ordinary person might have gone collapsed, but Gurudev remained steady and firm, like a lamppost, a beacon light, and thereby he himself did well and encouraged others also to do. He built confidence in others that yes, you can do great work, you can serve a nation, you can make a mark before going. So we see that ordinary people, by his words of encouragement, are the performer of great tasks. And it is said that when person starts this spiritual journey, sometimes whatever his mistakes and bad behavior is there, that comes at the surface, and then he thinks, oh no, this is not for me, I can never get this knowledge whereby I will know that I am that Brahman, I am so sinner, I am great sinner, etc. Then we get this advice that this realized saint and this all tradition of teachers is with us. Therefore, when such kashaya, these old thoughts come in at the surface, when we make our mind calm, quiet in meditation, just ignore them, let them pass. Don't identify with them, don't hate them, don't curse yourself for them. If not, the disciples of Swami Chinmaya will realize them. Along with all the weaknesses, you surrender yourself fully towards the God. And this complete submission to Him will at once purify you. If there is darkness in the cave, since many years, since eons, but if one lights a matchstick or a lamp, small lamp, at once, at that moment only, that eons darkness is dispelled off. In the same way, when this knowledge of Supreme Self, that I am, this takes birth in this heart, then at once person is purified. Maybe it is that then his body, mind, intellect, instrument, or that assemblage may go through that fruit of earlier actions. That will be there for the third persons to see, others to see. But he himself has cut off from that intellectually, and therefore he doesn't go through that. Dhiman, Dhiro, Dhairya Pradascha Saha. Further, Guruji says, Narayano Nijanando Nirapekshascha Nispruhaha Nirupamo Nirvikalpas Tatha Nityo Niranjana. He himself is Narayan. It is heard that you contemplate on him, you meditate on him, and you will get the same result which you get by meditating on God, Lord Narayan. He used to say that wherever Narayan is there, Lakshmi will follow. hold on to Narayan and Lakshmi will follow. And really, wherever he is there, there all flow of these donations and charity used to come. And he was as if kartum akartum अन्यथा वा kartum sakta. Whatever thought will come in his mind, that will happen. That power was there. Some devotees used to say him, Gurudev, you say it will happen. Once you utter this word, that will be going to happen definitely. He used to know all inside out. Just at a glance, like we see through a wooden glass ball or glass door. Once he was coming, one person said this experience. Once he was coming and all the people were there, both the sides, and he was in between. A way was made to go through, and he was coming, and at one place just he stopped, and the person there was named Shroff. He looked at that person and just said these words, fight, Shroff, fight. Nobody got the clue why these words to this person, etc. What is the reference of that? But that person himself, he got this message. Actually, before that time, before some days only, his father had passed away, and he had left lot of estate and wealth. And afterwards, his sons and other relatives were craving for that, and they were just snatching this wealth, and this Shroff was indifferent towards that wealth. Therefore, he would not claim his right on that. But when Gurudev said, Shroff, fight Shroff, fight. So that day he got a clue, and then he claimed his part on that, his legacy, and then he got that. And then after with that, he did lot of charity. So whatever is happening in the future, or what is the condition, what are the thoughts in others' mind, he has to read the minds of others. Narayano, Nijanando, and ever revealed in his own happiness, not dependent for happiness on outside objects, sense objects. That was completely different thing for him. And this mind also will always go as if it is dragged to that happiness. Only for our totality Sankalpa he used to come to our level and then act in this world. When you hear his videos and look at his eyes, that we come to know. Nijanando. He used to ever immersed in that self-bliss, self-ecstasy, self-happiness. Narayano Nijanando. Nirapekshascha Nispruha. Actually, how this Nijananda, how the self is of happiness. This has a happiness analysis, as if that we'll see some other time. Narayano Nijanando Nirapekshascha Nispruha. Nirapeksha, without any expectations, he used to work. And such person is called Surut. Upakara Anapeksha Pratyupakari. Pratyupakara Anapeksha Upakari. So without expecting a good deed in return, he went on doing good to others, went on serving to others. Nirapeksha. He has instructed to all workers also that you serve the world as your first and foremost duty towards Lord. And for that service, even if somebody threw at you a dry piece of bread, then that also you should be grateful because you got that. Don't expect anything, no appreciation, no recognition, no patting. And even if they abuse you and blame you of something, still you go on doing service. Grab every opportunity of service. Nirapekshascha, nispruha. Spruha means fine desire, minor desire that resides inside. Generally, outward on the surface of our mind, there is very much crowd of other desires, and therefore this subtle desire doesn't find a way out to manifest outward. But when during meditation practice we quieten our mind, surface of our mind, that time such spruha comes out. Gurudev was nispruha, not an iota of desire. It is a desirelessness is desirable. And in scriptures, such person is called akama, nishkama, atma kama, apta kama. Only desires of self, and that is ever fulfilled because we are there where we are. Taittiriya Upanishad it is said that so oshnute sarvan kamaan saha brahmana vipaschiteti. When one knows Brahman, then since only one alone without a second Brahman is there, so object of desire and action of desiring and desirer, this all triad merges into one supreme state, and therefore at one point of time only, simultaneously all his desires get as if fulfilled. Like all the rivers come and merge in ocean, and they lose their different names and forms, their separate existence, they become ocean only. In the same way, what is the object to be desired and the act of desiring, they all become the self. They become one in self. Therefore, no separate desire or no separate object of desire remains. Even feelings, events, happenings, abstract emotions, sukha, dukha, that all becomes one. Nirapekshascha nispruha, nirupamo nirvikalpas tatha nityo niranjanaha. Nirupamo, he is without any simile. We cannot tell that like him, like other person he was there, etc. Nirupamo. We cannot compare him with any other thing, any other person in the world. Because he is like that. It is said Gaganam Gaganakaram. Sky, space is like space. Ocean is like ocean. And so also the battle between Sri Rama and Ravana was like the battle between Sri Rama and Ravana. Rama Ravana yor yuddham, Rama Ravana yor samam. As Sri Ram was one alone without a second. So same way that was there. In the same way, in here Nirupamo. One cannot just give metaphor for him. Nirvikalpas tatha. Vikalpa, kalpa is kalpana, to imagine. Vikalpa, option, etc. Very many thoughts. Like a dwindling, like a pendulum, these thoughts. And nirvikalpa, no thought. No dual mind, or no self cancellation of thoughts, nirvikalpa. Like a vast body of water without any ripple and waves, as if by the wand of magic it is brought to stand still. In the same way, when our mind becomes quiet, initially this state is to be achieved by remaining alert. Remaining alert, always alert, avoids accident. So don't allow any thought to come into your mind, whether good or bad. When slowly this is achieved, then naturally mind remains in that state, nirvikalpa. Though outer transactions are taken care of itself, the Lord speaks through such person, and he acts through such person, and he guides the society through that person. Nispruhah, nirupamo, nirvikalpa, tatha nityah, niranjanah. Nitya is that which is true in 3 periods of time. So it was the truth in past tense also, now in present also, and future also it will remain. No other truth we find, we find in this world which is same and truthful in whole this flow of time, past tense, present tense and future tense. Like if you say, I am here, this sentence is true only with relation to this time, this period. In the past, this sentence is untruth. I am here, because we may be somewhere else. In future also it will not hold true, because I may go somewhere. In this way, whatever we say, that is transactional truth, speak truth, etc. So that is only relative truth that holds true only in that state, tat desh and tat kala. But this one truth is there, which is beyond time, it is true in all periods of time. So that is called nitya. Like I was child, I was newborn baby, I was young, I was adult, I am old. So this I, pure I principle remains same in past, present and future. So that one is nitya. Niranjanah. Anjana is black Korean that is applied, mascara, that are applied to eyes. So Niranjana, so that no blemish, no black, no dirt is there, and it is a symbol of Maya, ignorance, or any untruth, any crookedness. No Niranjana means there is pure effulgent truth is there, pure purity is there, there is no ignorance, and no ignorance born modifications of mind like kama, krodha, etc. No impurity of mind. This creativity power, this creativity ability, that is unmanifest in that. So no duality is there. Because when that Sat, Chit, Ananda, when that Sat, the moment duality comes, it becomes Asat. Chit, that becomes Achit, and Ananda becomes sorrow. That is the function of ignorance and duality. Here it is Niranjana, immaculate. Further Guruji says, Paramah Parabrahmaiva Pavana Sahi Pavakaha Purushottamasya Evayam Prasannatma Swarupataha. Paramaha. He is Paramaha means Shrestha, beyond everything, transcendental. Param Poojya Bhashyakar Adi Shankaracharya says Parama. How you will know Parama? So three way he says that it is beyond this all conditionings, etc., beyond time, beyond space, beyond all other conditions, means mind, body, etc. Then it is all pervading. It is subtler than the subtlest. So it is all pervading. Subtlety is measured in terms of pervasiveness. Like one says, let me take two-wheeler, because car needs much more time in navigation also and for parking also. So it cannot penetrate the crowd. Two-wheeler will go. So the subtler, the minute, the smaller we become, we can penetrate. Means this pervasiveness is more, like cube of ice pervades very little space. Then when it melts, it is more pervasive because it has become subtle. And when it is turned into vapor, then it pervades the whole room because it is most pervasive form of water. So in the same way, the more subtler the thing, the more pervasiveness it acquires. So the most subtlest thing is all pervading. So that pervasiveness is the measurement of this param, pervasiveness. The second is greatness. It is greatest, it is highest, therefore it is param. And third is innermostness, means pratyagatmataya, which is the nearest thing to me, which is the closest thing to me. Somebody will say, this body, of course, but this body also I have to leave here, or it is taken away from me at the time of death. I cannot take it for my further journey when it is not useful for me to enjoy, to experience the fruits of my further actions which were in store. So this body also goes away from us. It is taken away from us. It is not near to us. Same way mind, intellect, vital forces, organs, all our organs, and ego. But we ourselves is the nearest factor to us, and that remains with us only. We ourselves is that. So that is Parama. So in this way, Pratyagatmataya, the greatness or importance and highest, and also all pervasiveness. These three are the measurements to measure this Parama, to decide whether it is Parama. That's what Adi Shankaracharya explains in his commentaries on Upanishads. Param Parabrahma, and it is Parabrahma. Brahma is one, but through different angles or standpoints, it is prefixed with many words like Shabala Brahma, Parabrahma, Saguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma, Paratpara Brahma, Karya Brahma, Mahat Brahma in Gita for Maya and Prakriti, Mahat Brahma, Mama Yonir Mahat Brahma. तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहं सम्भवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां योनि महद्ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहं. So in this way the Mahad Brahma, but here it is called Param Brahma. Shabala Brahma, Mahad Brahma, Karya Brahma, Karan Brahma, this all Srishti, this all universe is a Karya Brahma. The thought of making this Srishti, that was earlier unmanifest form, that is Ishwar. So that is Karya Brahma. This Hiranyagarbha is the thought, general idea about this in our intellect. That is Hiranyagarbha. And when that accepts this creative power, etc., with these three gunas, then it becomes Shabala Brahma. In this way, many are there, but he Parabrahma, the supreme truth beyond everything, and which is most all-pervading and which is there inside each and everything as its essence, as its core, in us also as it is self. Parama Parabrahma eva. And they said Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Reva Parabrahma. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Is that substratum on which all the things happen. Parama Parabrahma eva. Pavana Sahi Pavaka. Now Pavana and Pavaka is. Pavana means he himself is pure. Purity itself. Purity embodied. Because there is no trace of ignorance, no trace of desire, anger, disgust, or any competition, or any jealousy, etc. By thinking on that Lord, which himself is purity, the devotee also acquires that state. Pavana, and then Pavaka. Pavaka means purifier. Word meaning of Pavaka is fire. Fire burns out all the dirt, all the garbage, etc. is there. Fire just burns out it and make that thing purified. So in the same way, Gurudev also like a fire, always going up, dazzling, and whatever inefficiency, defects are there, that just will get burned into ashes when one will serve him. And he is great purifier in the sense that he gave the knowledge by which our doership, enjoyership, the agentship will go. And when that agentship will go, then further I am doer, this feeling will not be there. And therefore the merits and demerits arise from that action, that will also not hurt us. That actions will not create bondage for us. And therefore we need not have to take another birth and go through all the torture and modifications from that birth onwards. Therefore he is Pavaka. He makes whatever he touched, he made it auspicious. Purushottama sevayam prasannatma swarupatah. Purushottama, Purusha Uttama is the best among the embodied. In 15 chapters, God says, Uttamasya Purushastvanya Paramatmetu Darutah Yo Lokatrayamavishya Vibharti Vairishwaraha Yoma Mevama Sammudho Janati Purushottamam Sasarvavit Sarvabhavena Bharata. Purushottama. Purusha is Puri Shayanat Purusha, one who resides in this city, the Jiva, the individual, and who is Uttam in such Jivas, individuals, is the best among them. Also Purushayana, Purusha is Purnatvat Purusha, one who makes everything complete. Without it, completeness is not there. Suppose body is lying, lifeless body is lying, then all the limbs etc. that we see, but it can't do anything. So in this way, Puri Purnatvat Purusha, Puri Shayanat Purusha, and Puryate Anenati Purusha, all pervading, since it is all pervading. It has filled this whole universe. Purnatvat Purusha. So many other etymology is there about this word Purusha. Purushottamasya evayam prasannatma surupatah. Prasannatma, he is ever present, pleasant and smiling and cheerful and calm and quiet and pure. Prasanna, actually prasannata, prasadastu prasannata. In Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter also it comes. When mind is pure, calm, quiet, then intellect shines bright. It works properly. We can think and decide the things rightly. And when mind is agitated and filled with all sorts of desire, anger and other detrimental feelings that make ourselves restless, that time our intellect cannot think properly and decide rightly. So prasannata is that purity and calmness, peace and inherent joy. So Gurudev was always in that state. Saevayam prasannatma sarupatah. So by very nature, Gurudev is that. Then phalasakti rahitoyam. He never craved for the fruit of action that he did on large scale. He found joy in the action itself, and he advised that only as Gita advises, that you do your action, your bounden duty as best as you can, and with happy mind, in the attitude of surrender to God, like worship to God. And there only you will get the happiness of doing that job. Then whatever result of that action will come, that will come to you only, but you don't pay your attention to that fruit which will come in future while doing the act in the present, because then otherwise your mind will go in future and your present act will be mindless act, that will be of inferior quality and not a standard work is expected. And when such a work is there, we can't expect. And thereby he got so many devotees wherever he used to go. Even if 5 minutes he is there with that person, but that time he is 100% with that person. And therefore that meeting, that small meeting will make so much impact on that person that he will relish that and cherish that throughout his life. And with clear cut embossing of that meeting on his heart. So in this way, so many devotees he got. Bahu bhakto janeshu cha. Many kept in contact by letters, etc. Many kept studying the scriptures and serving the people as he instructed. And many were on the like telepathy, on the level, mental level, intellectual level. They were always intimate to him, though not physical. Palasatireetoyam bhuvukto janeshu cha bandhamochaka shikshanam brahmanishtastathaeva cha. Bandhamochaka. Samartha Ramdas Swami's lady disciple, Venabai, She has got her famous composition. बंध विमोचक राम माझा, बंध विमोचक राम. Bandhamochaka. So he is the one who relieves these disciples and devotees from the bondage of slavery of their mind, bondage of action, bondage of ignorance, fear and sorrow. Bandhamochaka Shishanam, those who submit to his discipline and practice spirituality as he advises. Even now also through his books, he releases one from this bondage. Through his talks, through his books and through his many masterpieces, his disciples and their disciples in turn. Bandhamochaka Shishanam. Brahmanishthas tathaivacha. And his firm establishment in that Brahman was also a rare one. It is said that tasya smruti tatra drudhaiva nishtha. Constant remembrance of that is called the loyalty, this establishment, firm abidance in that truth. So when the truth is lived as me, myself, then this constant remembrance comes. And that becomes this nitaram sthiti iti nishtha. Bandhamochak Shishanam Brahmanishthas tathaivacha. This Brahmanishtata is a test for becoming a Sadguru, an ideal Guru, ideal spiritual teacher, as per Mundaka Upanishad. Parikshalotam karmachitam brahmano nirvedamaya nasti krutakkrutena tad vijnanartham sagurumeva vigachet samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtham. So he must be versatile in scriptures, Upanishads, of self-knowledge, etc. And he must be a firm abidance in the experience thereof, a realized one. Thus Brahmanishtha. At least on intellectual level we should try to remember this throughout whatever we do in the day. Rooted in self-knowledge, act on in the world. That's what Gurudev says. As we never forget, whatever we are doing in office or in any organization or anywhere, that we are human being. Though we do not meditate that, though we do not repeat this sentence again, we never speak that, but still this notion is always there that I am a human being. And then along with that we work on as per the duties of our role. In the same way I am Brahman. This notion will be there. Nimeshardham na tishthanti vrittim jnanamayim vina. Shukadev, Sanak Sanandan, Sanatan Sanat Kumar, Vamadev, these all were such that this thought, Brahman thought, Brahmakar Vritti, they never forgot even for a fraction of second. Nimeshardham na tishthanti vrittim brahmamayim vina. So in this way this Brahmanishtha is always there. I am man or I am woman. This thought also goes on completely. Even our worldly relations, I am father or I am mother, I am a missionary or I am a householder. Whatever this thought is there, that also continues with all our roles, all our duties as we discharge in the world. Same way this thought can be there. I am Brahman, I am Shudra, I am Kshatriya. This thought also goes. Even in dream also, we never dream that I am a dog, I am a donkey. So it penetrates that state of ourselves also, dream state. So in the same way, when we put forth effort to remember this thought, which we appreciate and get convinced by study and meditation, then we can have firm avoidance in that. Brahmanishtas tathaiva cha. Further Guruji says, Nityam Brahma Paraschaiva Bhayanashana Evahi Bharata Gauravo Bhuma Mahavakyopadeshakah. Nityam Brahma Paraschaiva. Brahma Para, Brahmanishta and Brahma Para. Brahma Para means Brahma Parayan, means giving full importance, the prime importance to this knowledge only, and always directing all our activities, always orienting all our activities around that and towards that. Brahma Param. Param Ayanam, iti Parayanam. He sets that as a highest goal of life, oneness with God. Nityam Brahma Paraschaiva. Shankaracharya ji gives an example to explain this word Brahma Para. He says that one army officer was in king's army and he used to love his wife. So when he was there with his wife and chatting with her, so he was fully engrossed in that. But at that time, if the king's order hears that you are immediately asked to be reported there, so immediately he will leave that discussion with his wife and leave her company and go to there. Means though he loved his wife, for him the utmost importance is king's order. So when we say this Brahma Para, Para Brahma, Brahma Parayana, Brahmanishta and Brahma Para. So that time, though we do all our duties etc. as demanded by our roles in life, but still we know that essential nature of ourselves. So this is Brahma Para. Bhayanashana evahi. Bhayanashana, he is the destroyer of fear. He himself was fearless. Swami Shivananda ji said once that Swami Chinmayananda ji, Swami Chinmaya has many good traits, many extraordinary qualities, but the most eminent is this fearlessness. He is fearless like a lion. And this Vedanta makes you fearless, because he says that even death is not there for you. You are immortal. That is only the modification of body, and that which is made up, that will definitely get destroyed. That which was born, that is definitely will meet a death one day. So that is natural. That is just a change of form of 5 elements, as any other changes are there. So once it happened that Gurudev, once in the beginning, in initial period, he went to Chennai and there he wanted to give discourses. But since those orthodox Brahmins of Chennai, they did not like much that he is speaking in English on our sacred scriptures. They expected that he should speak in Sanskrit. When he asked that I will speak in Sanskrit, will you understand? Then they said, no, we don't know Sanskrit. And at that time, all the elite class of, because of this British rule, the educated an intelligent class of society, he would know anything only if told in English only. Therefore, Gurudev will speak in English only because he wanted to take this knowledge to masses. So nobody was ready to give him the place to have discourses, to arrange discourses. At last, one Mohammedan, he gave him the place, but he said, this place is haunted by a ghost. It is ill-famed that ghosts are there. Gurudev was very fearless. Bhayanashana. He has first killed his own fear and then he made others also fearless. So he said, okay, no problem, you give me that. Anyway, I wanted to meet this ghost. So he went and nothing happened. He did all the things there and that all Jnana also got well. Nityam Brahma Paraschaiva Bhayanashanaiva. And he gave that knowledge which made all the people fearless. We have discussed this earlier, that all the fear, all the phobias are classified in 3 classes: fear of death, fear of getting cheated, and fear of pain. And the nature of ourselves, Chidananda, that makes us fearless, because Sat means continued pure existence without name and form, that we are. So no fear of death, no fear of old age, no fear of disease. Also, the pure knowledge principle, awareness, objectless awareness, that is our real nature. And when we identify with that, these walls of I-ness, my-ness, and with all duality, I, you, your, he, his, that all goes. So there is no fear of getting looted and cheated, because whomever that thing goes, that is myself only. When we bring down these walls created by ignorance, by this ego, then there is clear-cut and fully vast ground for us to play the game of life. And the last one is fear of pain, that we saw. That pain is the anger of the nervous tips, and actually maybe pain, we come to know pain when it is reported by mind, and this mind is itself very unreliable thing. It is a fictitious entity. When it is engrossed in some other thing of interest, it doesn't feel pain. Surprisingly, in deep sleep also it doesn't feel pain. So the existence of pain is also not there. And if at all it is there, it is just in the body, felt by mind itself. It doesn't touch me, the pure me. Pure me is always anamay, niramay, means free from disease, free from ailment, free from any sorrow. Nashana, who destroyed the fear. Further, Bharata Gaurava, he was the glory of India. Really, in this century, he did so much work, 40 years after Swami Vivekananda ji. He brought this all scriptural knowledge into English, and throughout globe he trotted and gave this knowledge to all, and as if gave the momentum to change the era through this study of scriptures and service, selfless service. So definitely he is a great saint, Bharata Gaurava. He is the pride of India, who made this Bharata Bhumi, the land of our motherland, India, to be proud of him in the world. He lived all the philosophy of Param Poojya, Bhashyakar, Adi Shankaracharya, Bhagavan Vedvyas, Raman Maharshi, Ramakrishna Paramahans, and so many others, Bharata Gaurava. And by every bit of his life, his presence, his existence, he reflected this, the glory of India. He was a complete patriot to his bones. During the wars which happened during his lifetime, he helped government by giving so many lakhs of rupees by way of collecting gold from devotees. And also he went himself to the border to increase the courage to appreciate them, to instill fearlessness and bravery into them. And afterwards also Guruji has kept that legacy of patriotism in Chinmaya mission. Bharata Gaurava, Bhuma. Bhuma is completely a very nice word that comes in Chandogya Upanishad. Bhumaiva Sukham. Yovai Bhuma Tat Sukham Nalpe Sukham Asti. Bhuma is vast, akhand, indivisible, infinite. Like Brahman, this Bhuma word is there. And Gurudev has acquired that status of Bhuma. His large-heartedness, accommodativeness. He used to say that Bha means knowledge, because Bha means light and light is a symbol of knowledge, and Rata means to revel in, to play in. So one who is interested in acquiring knowledge and then disseminating it, one is interested in learning and teaching. He is Bharatiya, he may be in any country of the world. So he was large-heartedness. Even in the last heart disease that he got after even bypass etc., that continued, persisted. And when doctors reported that your heart has become large, enlarged heart you have got. So he said, all through my life, I tried to make my large heart, enlarge my heart and to accommodate all, each and every, even living and non-living beings. And now it has become enlarged, so you are telling it is disease. So Bharata Gaurava Bhuma, he was that. Mahavakyopadeshataha. And he is the preacher and teacher of the great sentences that come in our Vedas, and that tells about the oneness of individual and Supreme Self. Though these sentences are very small, only 2 or 3 words are there, but they are called Mahavakya, the great sentences. Why? Because they do great function, two-way function they do. First, they bring that Almighty which we feel it is remote to us, very far away than us. They bring that Almighty near us, right in our heart. This is one. And second function it does, great task it does, that they remove our pettiness, our trifleness. And they say it is not you, this dying, taking birth and dying stuff is not you, this body is not you. You are that Brahman, you are that consciousness, you are that Chaitanya. So in this way it removes the weaknesses and narrowness of ourselves, and it brings that God principle near us. which now we think that it is above the seven heavens, etc. Four Vedas are there, and there are many such sentences which emphasize the oneness of these two, Jiva and Brahma, but mainly four are chosen, each one from one Veda, each Vedas. So Rig Veda, there is Aitareya Upanishad which says Prajnanam Brahma, the pure consciousness that is there in each and every living being, that is me. Prajnanam Brahma, that is the Supreme Self, and that is in me as pure consciousness. Second is from Yajurveda, and that is Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman, I am that Supreme Reality. Third is from Samaveda, Tattvamasi. Guru instructs, you are that. You are that Lord, that Creator. Only when you remove the conditionings, essentially you are that. And the last is in Atharva Veda, that is Ayam Atma Brahma. This self is that infinite, eternal reality. So in this way, these four Mahavakyas are chosen from each Vedas. Though there are many, like in Kathopanishad it is said, Etat Vaetat, Etat Vaetat, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, Tat Jalaniti, that is for Upasana, but Vishwam Brahma Eva Idam. And in Chandogya also very many ways. Aham Brahma, Vishwam Brahma, Atma Eva Brahma, Brahma Vedam Idam Sarvam, Atma Vedam Sarvam, Aham Eva Idam Sarvam. In many ways it is given, just by changing conditionings. So these are the Mahavakya, and it does this two-way action. Therefore they are called Maha, big, even though they are very small that way. Very few letters and words are there. So Gurudev, he himself lived this, and therefore he preached this Mahavakya, and therefore he is Sadguru, therefore he is Jagat Guru. Further Guruji says, Maharshir madhuraschasya swabhavasya manohara Mahatma sacha medhavi yatatma yajnakrit chasaha. Maharshi, Maharushi, Maharshi, Mahancha so Rushi cha. He is great and he is the sage, the seer. Rushaya mantra dashtaraha. He is the one that in the highest state of that meditation, where there is no consciousness of this world and no consciousness of one's own body also. No thought of time and space is there. So at that state of pure white heat of meditation, as Gurudev says, so there these mantras are seen, these mantras get revealed to him. So that revelation comes to him. If you go through the commentaries written by Param Poojya Gurudev, they are all from that highest standpoint, that pure Vedanta. It is called Drushti Srushti Vada. And no dilution, no compromise is made anywhere, because that is lived and experienced and realized truth. Maharshi. Also Rashati Gachati. He kept on moving. He did not stay at one place. He kept on moving. And wherever he went, he gave this knowledge to all. He was a great missionary, Maharshi, Madhuraschas, and sweet disposition was his. Very sweet word, and He was so loving. Guruji also says many times that prominently I remember of him that his love-filled vision when he looked at me like a father who has full love and courage for him, that yes, my son is doing so much, so he is as if caressing and loving and cajoling me. So that love was there always in his eyes. So that I remember very vividly. Madhura. So he was love filled heart, words and sight also. Maharshis Madhuraschayam Swabhavasya Manohara. One day somebody asked that Gurudev, when you came back from Himalaya, Uttarkashi, you did not have any wealth with you. Then how you created these crores of rupees properties in the form of centers, ashrams and temples, etc. And Gurudev, as naughty he was, he just showed his tongue to the one who asked this question. Then he said, this my tongue, 2.5 inches tongue, is my ancestral property, on the basis of which I built this all estate. Means my speech. So the sweet words and only scriptures tested on one's own realization and a first-hand experience, and thereby inspiring others to serve, to give, to study and to work, to spread this knowledge, to acquire the posts of responsibility, to discharge that responsibility with efficiency, to improve oneself, one's own personality and to help others. So in this way, Madhura, Maharshi Madhuraschasya, Swabhavasya Manohara, and his nature was very attractive, Chittakarshak. He used to captivate and capture the hearts of others. As he has become the self of others, as Sri Rama would go to forest and all the villagers alongside the path, they used to come, they used to stop their work and they used to run and see Sri Ramchandra, Lakshmana and Sita Mata, Mother Sita. And then when they saw Ram, they just, without even moving their eyelid, they kept on seeing at him. And they loved, so much love get expressed through them. And their heart used to get full with less love, because he was their self only. Atma Ram, Antara Ram. So in this way, Gurudev also reached that state, therefore he was loved by all and became Manohara, means taking hearts away for good. He took them and kept at the feet of the Lord, and thus those persons became surrendered to Lord. Nityam Swabhavasya Manoharaha Mahatma. Mahatma is Akshudra Buddhi. So he is Mahatma, all pervading, all accommodative, large hearted, and not petty thought, selfish thoughts of me and mine, to me, etc. So always thinking of totality. Great soul, Mahatma. Such a Medhavi, intelligent, and Granthartha Dharana Shakti, Medha, knowing the essence, or in brief, that summary of that text or that book, that is Medhavi, and keeping that in memory. So whenever we want, we can recall and give reference to that, quote that. So basically, complete understanding of the word and spirit of that text, Medhavi. It is called Rutambhara Prajna. Gurudev was such, and same way Swami Vivekananda was also like that. Swami Vivekananda told that whatever he did in that all religions conference in Chicago, and whatever he got, all the fame and success, etc., all the followerships, so that is because of his brahmacharya, because he never allowed his mind to entertain even one sexual thought. And that became expressed in the quality to read and understand in a flash. He said that as in the beginning, when we are studying early in the school, then one word we have to read. Pa-va-na, ga-va-ta. Then as we go further, we practice. Then at a time we can read all the letters in that word. I, Kamal, Bug. Then slowly if you go further, then at a glance we can read the whole line, whole paragraph. And when we become so pure in our conduct and thought, then at a glance we can read one full page also, and then one full book also. So that is called Rutambhara Prajna. Same way, Gurudev was also that Medhavi, Mahatma such a Medhavi, Yatatma Yajnakritya Saha. Yatatma, he always worked on himself. And Yajnakrut, with the help of contributions from all, for the benefit of all, he undertook many great projects and completed them. That is called Yajna Bhavana, Yajna spirit. Yajna is a fire ritual also, which is done in the attitude of gratitude to give back to this natural phenomena, deities of them. Because since birth we go on taking. We take air in, we drink water, we take food, we occupy this space. We stay on this earth, but what we give back? So Yajna fire ritual is done with this attitude of thanksgiving, grateful. We take from nature only and give it back to them only. Like on the Father's Day, the child would ask to father, "Oh father, give some money. I want to give you greeting on Father's Day." So taking from him only and giving to him, but that will be filled with love and respect. So same way, reverence to these deities, natural phenomena. So this is one yajna. And second yajna is this: whatever necessities of the society is there at present time, so completing those by the contribution, by inspiring all to work, put forth their efforts, give their time, ideas, money and all other things, and thereby completing that necessity of the society, like building schools, hospitals, gardens, etc., temples. So Mahatma such a Medhavi, Yatatma, Yajnakritya Saha. He always kept in mind, etc., under his control and had full mastery over it. And therefore, wherever it went, that mind, it was just turned into gold. Further, Guruji says, Loka prasiddho vagme vai vibhushchayam tathaivacha vinoda priya evayam vinayashila sa evahi vinayashila sa evahi. Loka prasiddho. Param Poojya Gurudev is very famous. you might be knowing that after 100 years, in 1893, that great conference of Chicago happened, All Religion Conference. And after 100 years, so 1993, it was Gurudev who was called as a representative of Hinduism for that conference. But before that, he left his body there for some other representative from our mission went and attended that. And after him, Param Poojya Guruji was awarded Padma Bhushan and person of eminence in this view by South Indian Education Society. The Hindu of the year, etc. Loka Prasiddha, therefore he is very famous. Even in ordinary people, like one was a vendor of the tea, postmans, and all others, and in great people of great work. Loka Prasiddha, Vagmi, great orator. He was a great speaker. People used to listen to his speech with rapt attention, and his words used to touch their hearts, and it used to string the chords of their heart. They used to feel that, oh, he is speaking individually to me, as if he is reading my mind, as if he is knowing my doubts, my difficulties, and he is addressing that. In this way, one-to-one relationship, that rapport he will build with audience. He used to treat his audience like God. He always instructed the organizers that after my speech, don't disturb the audience with any other announcements, etc. They are in that bhav, in that different realm which is created by attentively listening this speech on scriptures. So let them quietly leave the place. He will wait for them even sometimes. One day there was a great this politician with him on the stage, and he also spoke and then Gurudev also spoke, and naturally he observed the response of audience to his own talk and to the talk of Gurudev also. Then informally he asked, Gurudev, how it is that these people listen to you very attentively, as if all their limbs get together in their ears when you speak. So what is the secret? Gurudev said just one sentence. He said that I love my audience. So when we treat our audience as me, myself, and I am speaking to me, myself, so much sincerity, so much love and concern for their welfare comes, not only in speech, but even in books. This we realize and experience. One who is sensitive enough will read his books and completely get sold to him. Loka Prasiddho Vagmi Vai. Whether it is university students or whether it is just at any square in the village, whatever high pedestal he will get, he will sit on that, and coming and going people will just wait and listen. So he was equally effective as a speaker. Fortunately, we have got many of his videos, and if you see, then we come to know how he used to make them first light by cracking some jokes or acting something humorously, and then he will put that serious thought in. He was the best teacher, best actor. Loka Prasiddho Vagmi Vai. All the modifications of voice. voice modulations, etc. We should learn from him. लोकप्रसिद्धो वाग्मी वै विभुश्चायं तथैव च. Vibhu is all pervading. He was Vibhu in the sense he traveled so much. Breakfast at one city, lunch at different, and dinner in different country. So many miles and kilometers he traveled in spite of his delicate health. Vibhu. And of course intelligently he conquered all the fields of knowledge, all the sciences and arts, and therefore he was Vibhu. And essentially when we say, definitely he was that Vibhu, all pervading self. All pervading means actually all is in that self. Like dream is in ourselves, but we also pervade dream. In dream also we find ourselves. In dream each and everything is seen by us only, and actually that dream also in us. So same way Vibhu. Vinoda Priya Evayam Vinayashila Sayavai. Vinoda Priya. He was a person of great humor sense, and he had mastered the art of making others laugh. He used to crack jokes and make people laugh. We know the in formal and informal talks also he was like that. We know the Priya Evayam Vinashila Sayavahi. Somebody may do this work, that whatever humorous laughter, some this on jokes etc. are there, and the principle for which they were told, that can be compiled together. Vinayashila Savaya. And at the same time he was much humble, always full of humility. Like a child he used to sit at the feet of great seers and saints at that time. One Gangeshwarananda Swami was there that time in India, in Mumbai, and he was born blind but fully realized saint. And he loved our Gurudev as a child. Even though he was blind, he would listen that, see, I think Chinmaya is coming. You see how he walks like a commander, a brigadier, in disciplined left right. I could sense his footprints, footnotes. Sound of his feet. When Anandamayi Ma also came, so that time also he was very humble, and he said, say something to these brahmacharis etc. And she said, what to say? What is there to say? And then Gurudev picked up that sentence only, what is there to say? And on that he elaborated for some time. So he was very humble. In other day-to-day transactions also, he was polite and soft-speaking. Many times it is said that once Param Poojya Guruji, when he was student in Powai, that time he was well versed in Sanskrit, therefore he used to teach his batch Sanskrit grammar also. So in one room he was taking class of those batchmates, and Gurudev with some other trustees etc. wanted to discuss something, and therefore they wanted to use that room. So Gurudev very humbly and politely asked his permission, the permission of our own student, that may I use this room for some time, and then they moved other place. He could have said the other way, He could have ordered, but he did not. Vinayashila Sayavahi. And it is definitely said, Vidya Dadati Vinayam. One who is learned always becomes humble. This politeness is the expression of knowledge or wisdom that we get. Vinoda Priya Evayam Vinayashila Sayevahi. Further Guruji says, Vitarago Gurur Noyam Vedanta Vedyas Eva Saha Shanta Shanti Pradasoyam Shastrodharaka Evahi. Vitarago. Attachment has gone away from him. Attachment has left forever him. So he is detached from the world. He did not get stuck to anything. Nothing gets embossed on his mind. Vitarago Guru Naha, our this teacher Gurudev is such. Vedanta Vedya Sayevahi, and the thing that is to be known by Vedas, the science of self-knowledge, that he is. That ultimate reality, absolute truth that he is. Vedanta Vedya Evahi. As in 15th chapter, Bhagavan says, Sarvasya chaham hridhi sunnivishto mattas smriti jnanamapohanam cha vedascha sarve ahameva vedyah. So this Vedanta Vedya, Vedanta Krut, Vedavritcha aham. So he is that Brahman which is to be used by, experienced by studying Vedanta. And he is Shanta. Shanta, peaceful. He is of the nature of peace. Shanta Karam. And this Shanta is a characteristic of, or the form of the self only. Shanti may be Paristhiti, this conditional peace. Peace around us, which is not in our hand. Sometimes it may be peaceful outside, sometimes not. Second is our mental peace. Our mental atmosphere may be peaceful or not. We may study on it, we may train it to be peaceful, but sometimes it may get annoyed and disturbed. But Atmasthiti, the peace of our own nature, self, that is always there, that never get disturbed. On that peace, just like bubbles come, stay and go in the water, same way these all words are created, sustained and merged back. So that peace he had become himself, Shanti, Shanti Pradav, and he is giver of peace also. It is said that once a person came to a Mahatma and said, I have got much wealth, prosperity and all, but I don't have peace. Give me peace. So that great sage said, okay, take it. And he was just calm and quiet, did not say anything, did not do anything. And this person was impatient to get peace. He waited for 1 minute, full 60 seconds he waited. And then that was the end of his patience. And he said, revered teacher, you are giving me peace. Where it is? I am waiting. So he said, that's what I am giving to you. Why you spoke? You brought disturbance in that peace. I am giving you peace only. Take it. So the fact is that peace is there, all pervading in that. These all are disturbances. So at the beneath of these disturbances, As a substratum of that, there is peace only. Only we have to recognize that. And everything will merge also in that peace. And that peace is our own nature. That's what knowledge Gurudev gives. Therefore, he is Shanti Prada, the giver of peace. शांत शांति प्रदस्सोयम शास्त्रोद्धारक एवहि, and he is the uplifter of scriptures, meaning he is the one who learned and taught scriptures to many people. Shastrodharaka means he protected scriptures, and protection by means of taking their summary and gist in our memory and then passing it on to our disciples. That way this knowledge remains protected and it remains ever radiant, fresh in living intellect that will be passed on to next generation. So in this way he was Shastrodharaka. He was well versed, very versatile in scriptures, because he experienced the one truth that they all advocate. With Shastrodharaka evahi. And he created a general interest and need and usefulness for this study of scriptures in all the educated class through his network of Swami's Brahmacharis and many teachers and guides in color clothes also, out of householders. Further Guruji says, Shuddha Sattva Sarvada Cha Tatha Cha Shruti Paragah Shrotriyashchaiva Sannyasi Samabuddhistathaiva Cha. Shuddha Sattva. He is pure at heart. His intellect is very pure. Sattva, this word is used in various meanings. Sometimes mind, intellect, even that what has happened or came into being. So here, pure mind, pure intellect. Because of all this, when you see the sadhana that he did when he was in Rishikesh, etc., so many days without food, so many hundreds of malas, japamala, repetition of God's name and mantra, so much reflection, so much contemplation, so much traveling, pilgrimage on feet, without any comforts, without any money, luxuries as such. So he systematically, with determination, thoughtfully and consciously made his all instruments pure, Shuddha Sattva, and got the reward of that. Shuddha Sattva Sarvada Cha Tatha Cha Shruti Paragah. And he understood the meaning of Shruti. Sant Tukaram Maharaj, very famous sentence, Vedansa to artha ammasi chatawa, yeranni bahava bharamatha. We know what Vedas want to say. The others just bear the burden of that. As a bullock, if he is just carrying that load, and in that bullock cart all the scriptures are taken, so that load is carried by bullock, but it doesn't understand anything from that. In the same way, when some lip Vedanta one is having, and he has just by-hearted that and just speaking that only outer surface of the personality, it has not gone in, it has not stayed in the and not percolated in his behavior and thinking pattern. That is fruitless. One person said, I have gone through Bhagavad Gita so many times, still no difference in me. That's what people around me say. So he said, let Gita go through you. Let that knowledge be assimilated. Let that knowledge be mine. And that becomes mine when we leave it. It is called Gita, Su-Gita Kartavya. Gita is well sung by Bhagavan. But it should be Su-Gita. We should make it Su-Gita by living according to that. So, Shuddha Sattva, Sarvadacha Shruti Paragaha, Shrotriya. Again, Shrotriya means who has taken this education by well-built tradition of Gurus. Swami Tapoji Maharaj, who was Parabrahma, embodied himself. He passed on this knowledge to him. Shivananda ji gave, and thereby he also passed on to other next generation like Guruji, etc. So Shrotriya and Shruti Nishtha was there. Pramana Buddhi, firm faith, adamant faith in our scriptures, that whatever scriptures say is correct. Scriptures is the valid means of knowledge. That is the authority, or when it comes to self-knowledge. So this Shrotriyashchaiva sannyasi, and he is sannyasi, sammaknyasi. He has completely abandoned the selfish work, etc., and the slavery of our conditionings. So he is a renunciate in true sense, always characterized by dispassion and knowledge, and always reveling in self-knowledge, devotion of God. Always working for others, and who has already assured fearlessness from his part. He is now no more in queue, no more in competition for getting any worldly objects. He has renounced Om Bhu Sanyastam Maya, Om Bhuva Sanyastam Maya, Om Suha Sanyastam Maya. He has left the expectations or desire to live, entertain or enjoy the fruits in this life and in after death life also. Sannyasi. Shrotriyashchaiva sannyasi. Samabuddhis tathaiva cha. And therefore he has got a feeling of equality in all, even in death and birth, even in loss and profit, even in faith, fame and fame. So all the things like as if they are in a dream, he has become equal to all. Further Guruji says, Satchidananda Swarupaha Sasarvahita Chintakaha Satya Sankalpa Santushtaha Sadhuscha Sumanastata. Satchidananda Swarupaha, Sat Chit Ananda, that is pure isness, the principle of existence. Chit, the pure knowledge, objectless knowledge, and Ananda, the objectless bliss. Everything is dear to someone, so that capacity to give happiness, priyata, also serenity, that is combined with this happiness. So Sarvahita Chintaka, Satchidananda Swarupasa, Satchidananda Swarupa. So in this way, this presence at all the times, that is me. This awareness, this consciousness is me. That is the real nature of Param Poojya Gurudev. And Ananda, of course, that was expressed through his ever smiling face. Satchidananda Swarupaha Sa Sarvahita Chintakaha, and he tried his best for the welfare of all. He was always benevolent to all. As if for himself, he put forth hard efforts for the good of all. Satya Sankalpaha. And since egoless he was, Lord himself fulfilled his desires through him. So this Chinmaya Mission organization and so much work they are doing in all field. That was the desire of Lord Narayan, which got fulfilled through him. Therefore, he is Satya Sankalpa. What he used to say, that must happen. Satya Sankalpa. It is said that when a person speaks truth and truth alone, never in dream also or for the sake of fun also, he lies. So that time, 12 years, if he takes this vow of speaking only truth, then afterwards he becomes Satya Sankalpa, means Vacha Siddhi comes to him. And then whatever he says becomes true. Satya Sankalpa. Santushtaha, and he is ever contented. This is the nature of Lord's beloved devotees. It is said in 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Santushta. Santushta is alam pratyaya sanjataha. Means enough. I have enough. Feeling of this enoughness. This is contentment. And it is said in Patanjali Yoga Sutra that Santoshat Anuttama Sukhalavaha. When one gets this real contentment, as if he has got precious, invaluable jewels, diamonds, etc., rubies. So Santosha is that feeling of contentment. Whatever God has given to me, that is enough. That is my need. Whatever I don't have, that is not my need. When one surrenders God to that extent, so that is contentment. Adi Shankaracharya says in his Prashnottari or Mani Ratnavali, that is gone. So it is based on Bhagavad etc. only. Who is a pauper? Who is poor person? So say Yasya Vishala Trishna. One who has great greed, he is a poor man. He doesn't say that whose per capita income, this monthly income or yearly annual income is so much, and below that he is in this poverty line. No. The contentment he saw. Even a person has lakhs and crores of rupees, but if he wants more and more, then he is poor. And even if person has just enough to meet his both ends together, then he is a rich person, rich by heart. So that santushti is there, and Gurudev had that. A divine trait indeed. Satya Sankalpa Santushtaha. Sadhuscha Sumanastata. And practically also when we have to work with all types of people. Those all are not truthful, all are not industrious and hardworking, all are not selfless, etc. All are not efficient. So whatever their capacity is there, maybe they are wrongdoing, maybe they are liars, maybe they are lazy, maybe they are selfish. So along with them we have to work, and slowly, as they go through, they groom and they leave their old defective traits and they acquire the new virtues. So first we have to be santushta, contented to have them at least. As Sri Ramchandra ji, when it is open that it was clear that he has to fight with Ravan, and he has got great army, full-fledged with all the weapons, etc., and tremendous in number. He did not call for the army from Bharat, from Ayodhya. Whatever monkeys and bears they were available there, santushtas, and then he trained them and led them in such a way, he inspired them in such a way that they got the victory. So he raised these animal-like people to the tenure of a leader, to the level of the leader. Satya Sankalpa Santushtas Sadhuscha Sumanas Tatha. Sadhu means good person, Bhala Admi. Gurudev was definitely sadhu. It is called a sadhu is one who has washed his 6 defects. Kama, Krodha, Loha, Madmoha, Matsar. That is desire, anger, delusion, greed, jealousy, etc. So all these mental modifications which bring us turmoil in mind, which take away peace from us and make us unsteady and agitated and take away the stillness from us. So one who has washed this away, he is sadhu. Saha dhutle, to sadhu. Also, who is sadhu? In Bhagavad very nicely it is said, in Kapila Gita, 3rd canto, where Devahuti is the disciple, she is mother, and son, Bhagwan Kapil, the incarnation of God, is Guru, a teacher. So there it is counted all the characteristics of a sadhu. Some of them are Ajata Shatravaha, one whose enemy has not born, means one who is friendly with even those who hate him. Titikshavaha, one he tolerates and forbears all the inconveniences in life, maybe from things or beings, maybe from coming from the place or time. Ajata Shatravaha Titikshaha Karunikaha, and very kind-hearted, compassionate to others. When it comes to others afflictions, he is very kind-hearted. But when it comes to his own discomfort, he is titiksha, means he just tolerates it without a word of complaint. Ajata Shatravaha Titiksha Karunikaha, and he never leaves the path of righteousness even if it comes to his death. He is completely devoted to God. Sadhu Bhushanaha, they are the like ornament to good people. In one saint also says that Je ka ranjale ganjale, त्यांसी म्हणे जो आपुले तोची साधू ओळखावा देव तेथेची जाणावा. That person is a good person who takes in his fold all the afflicted and distressed people to whom nobody is there to support. Such a kind man, compassionate man is good person. And one more also is given, Parakaryam sadhnoti iti sadhu. One who helps to accomplish the other person's work as if it is his own. As we, with very much concern, we try to complete our own work, try to achieve whatever we want. This sadhu is such a selfless guy that he tries to accomplish the other person's work with full effort and zeal that we show for ourselves. Sadhuscha Sumanasta and Sumana. He is good hearted Surat Sumana. He helps others without any expectation of help in return or recognition or appreciation in return. Sumana. And his mind is always full with divine thoughts. He has divinized his mind. He has established a constant connectivity with the total mind, and therefore he always have a noble thoughts in which everybody's welfare is there. Those are always praiseworthy thoughts. Some people say, so many people get like these bright thoughts, but whatever comes in my mind is very vulgar and lowly and mean thoughts that come. I think God has given me the rejected and defective mind. Maybe. But now since we are in human body, so we have got the choice. So whatever thought comes from our causal mind, our causal body, we can have examination like quality control department has, and then every thought should be a stamp of our sanction. Yes, this thought can be kept, it can be expressed through speech or action. If not, rejected, throw away, discard it away, make it obsolete, dispose it away. So in this way we have got the choice, but for that much alertness and an intellect trained in scriptures to know what is good and bad, that is necessary. So here Gurudev is Sumanaha, Sumanaha. In Mahishasur Mardini also Shankaracharya as this I Sumanas, 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 Sumanohar Kanti Yuti. So good minded. His mind wafts the fragrance of his good intentions, noble intentions, pure desires. And further Guruji says, Surulloke Swayam Jyotisthita Prajnas Tadaivahi Shamashilo Jnana Murtir Jnana Yogi Tataivacha. Surulloke, Surut, he is Surut. Surut Shankaracharya gives us Pratyupakara Anapeksha Upakara Karta. One who goes on helping and doing good deeds without expecting anything in return. So Surut, one is good hearted, kind hearted, without any purpose. He just causelessly wishes betterment of all. Surulloke, Swayam Jyoti, and he is self-shining, self-effulgent, because he is the nature of knowledge, Chinmaya, as that supreme consciousness is there. Now see, if we want to search for something, we want light or torch. But if you want to see whether sun has risen or not, then for that, to see that sun in the sky, we don't require to lit a matchstick or take a lamp or put a torch, because sun itself is a body of light. It reveals itself. We no need of any other light, borrowed light from outside to see the existence of sun. In the same way, Swayam Jyoti, since the self is of the nature of knowledge, to realize that self, no other knowledge is required. It itself make us known. And that's what Gurudev is. Surulloke Swayam Jyoti. And therefore, we think it is a good deed to give knowledge, to build schools and to spread this knowledge, to give tuitions and to preach others. That is good. Dissemination of this knowledge is considered as good, while taking disadvantage of anybody's ignorance is evil. So all these vices and virtues have also come from this philosophy only. Since we are of the form of knowledge, we are of the nature of knowledge, essentially, giving knowledge is considered as virtue, and taking disadvantage of anybody's ignorance is seen as vice, because that is against our own nature. So logical it is all. Surulloke Swayam Jyoti Sthita Prajna Sadaivahi, and he is Sthita Prajna. Now for this Sthita Prajna we have to see Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, 54 verse onwards. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmannevatmana tushta sthita prajnasadochyate. And further 7 shlokas goes. Bhagavan says all the characteristics of the one who is steadfast in this self-knowledge, sthita prajna, who always remember this. Sarveshu Vignamana. यथा यदा संहरते चायं कुर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियार्थेभ्यस्तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. So he is Sthita Prajna. Wow, he is such realized soul that he is firmly established and has a firm abidance in that self-knowledge. Never ever he forgets, come what may, whatever things happen, whatever event he is passing through. That may be different pairs of opposites according to the worldly knowledge, but he is same and unwavering in that, undeterred. Swayam Jyoti Sthita Prajna Sadaivahi Kshamaashilo Jnanamurti Jnanayogi Tathaivacha Kshamaashilaha. He is large-hearted, so he readily forgives others for their maybe weaknesses or mistakes or some other wrong notions. Kshamaashila. It is said that Kshama, forgiveness, is a characteristic of a strong and valorous and brave person, and not of the coward. Even if I had the capacity to retaliate, but still I don't take revenge, I don't just disturb others, trouble others. I just forget, because I see them as my own self, and I know they did it through it because of ignorance. Because of ignorance they are seeing duality, and therefore this is that forgiveness, a godlike trait. You see, so many times God forgives us. We even deny his existence also, and we often question what he is doing and where is he and why he is not coming, etc., how he is doing this, as if we know more than him. In fact, he knows past, present and future of all, inside and out of all. One person was asked, do you know me? So he said, I know you inside out because I am a radiologist and takes X-ray of you. I take X-ray of you. So God so many times forgives us, and he is forgiving in such a way that he doesn't realize also that we did some harm to him and we defamed him. Once one child came to its mother, and it with folded hands, and he said that, oh mother, please forgive me. Mother said, oh, why, what happened? So he said, no, when I was a very small newly born baby and in your this one womb, then I must have troubled you and I must have pulled your hair, etc. So he said, oh, come on, I just don't realize that also. So I never remember that. So where is the point of forgiveness? In the first place, I don't know that you did that mistake to me, mischief to me. So in this way, Kshamaashila, when one sees oneself in all, then readily He forgives. Because as we forgive ourselves, so many times our mind doesn't obey us. So many times it goes rebellious to us and does exactly opposite what we want it to do. But still, we just casual and caress that mind and fulfill its, try to fulfill its each and every desire. So many times we get harmed by ourselves. Our teeth just bites our tongue, or our finger poke our hair, eyes, etc. But we readily forgive it. We even didn't feel also that offended. So in the same way, when the great soul has understood that his self is the self of all and everything is in his self, so he readily forgives, and so will Gurudev Kshamashila. Jnanamurti, Jnanayogi, Tathavacha. Jnanamurti. Now these are very sweet terms. These three terms, next three terms, Jnanamurti, Jnanayogi, and lastly Jnanatrupta. Jnanatrupta, this comes in Mandaka Upanishad and also in Bhagavad Gita. Jnana Vijnana Truptascha. In 6th chapter it comes. So first he is Jnanamurti. He is embodiment of knowledge. Is knowledge personified itself. Chinmaya by the name also. Jnana Yogi, and he is the follower of the path of knowledge, self-inquiry and thinking, right thinking, as guided by scriptures and as demonstrated by great saints like Adi Shankaracharya ji, to think, and just by thinking our ignorance is dispelled. So that is called Jnana Marga, and rare few are eligible to do that because it requires certain intellectual trait. So Gurudev was such Jnana Murti, Jnana Yogi, Tathavacha, whose personality is based more on intellect, reasoning, logic, and they do not count their hearts beating much. Even if at times they become emotional, but their sthayi bhav, the base of their personality is rooted in knowledge, that Jnana Yogi. And once they are convinced about the thing through this logic and right thinking, then they adhere to it firmly, and then they don't get shaked because of other things. So Jnana Yogi and Jnana Trupto at last. Last verse Guruji says, Jnana Trupto Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupasaha Evam Namarchito Bhuyat Prasanno Varado Guruhu. Jnana Truptaha is contented with knowledge. How much to learn? How much to read? How much to get information of? Only till we know ourselves. Once we know ourselves, and that is the cause of all the world, we come to know the world. As they say, Vacharambhanam vikaro namadheyam mrityuketteva satyam yathaikena ghatena sarvam mrunmayam vijnatam syat. Vacharambhanam vikaro namadheyam mrityuketteva satyam. As once we know the essential nature of characteristic of mud or soil or clay, then we can know all the things made up of mud, like small pot, big pot, small mud on the lamp, etc. Yathaikena lohamayena, yathaikena lohamanina sarvam lohamayam vijnatam syat. Vacharambhanam vikaro namadheyam suvarnamityeva satyam. As we know the essential element of gold, we can know each and every ornament made up of gold. So same way, when we know ourselves, since that is the substratum on which this panorama of plurality called universe is seen, then we know that, and therefore jnana trupto. Then he becomes contented for knowledge. Very nice term, jnana trupto. Otherwise, lifelong, it is okay that you remain student till your last breath and you study this Vedanta, etc. Shastra suchintita kuni kuni jai. So every day Vedo nityam adhiyatam, that is true. But still, inside we should be filled and contented with this knowledge. Jnana trupto. Then even if it doesn't happen, that should not make us guilty feeling, etc. And incompleteness should not come. Because first only it said that you are complete, purna, you are perfect. Jnana trupto, nitya shuddha buddha mukta swarupa. Now this is long name and last name that we have to pronounce thrice. So nitya shuddha buddha mukta swarupa. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says this word nitya will go with every other word. Nitya Shuddha, Nitya Buddha, Nitya Mukta. So he is eternally pure, eternally awakened, and eternally free or liberated. And that is his own nature, Swarupasan. Actually, he is beyond words, indescribable or inexplicable. But just for the sake of study, these indicators are given. So he is ever pure. He doesn't get any dirt and any stink on it. He is spotless, clean and pure. Nitya Shuddha. Nitya Buddha. He is ever awakened. He is always full of knowledge. In never does he sleep. Mind and intellect go to sleep. He doesn't go to sleep. The self, Yesha Sukteshu Jagarti. In Kathopanishad and in Aditya Hridayam it is said, Yesha Sukteshu Jagarti. While all other things go to sleep, he keeps on a watch. He keeps alert. And this is the motto of Indian Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, ICAI. When all other shareholders, etc., customers, they just remain assured that yes, audit is being done. So where we have invested our money, it is in safe hands. So Yesha Supteshu Jagarti, he keeps watch how the directors are moving these funds, etc. So in the same way, this self, when all other conditionings go to sleep, they go in seed form. He remains alert. He don't have any need to sleep. He just is ever alert. Nitya Shuddha, Nitya Buddha, Nitya Mukta, and he is ever free. Bondage in the form of delusion, fear and sorrow doesn't touch him. Therefore, no need of freedom, etc. He is of the nature of freedom. Liberation is his own nature. Nitya Mukta. Much can be contemplated on these all deep terms. Jnana Trupto Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupasan. By the way, what is Mukti? It is said that Muktir Hitva Anyatha Rupam Swarupena Vyavasthitihi. Leaving aside the other misconceived form of us, staying with our own nature. Muktir Hitva Anyatha Rupam. the other form that we superimposed wrongly on us. So leaving that, abandoning that, being in our own nature, staying in our own nature, knowing our own nature, that is liberation. Muktir hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthitihi. And Raman Maharshi once said very nicely, ending all the sorrows which were imaginary, which were not there, and getting established in the happiness that is ever our own nature, that is mukti. So many stories are also told about this. Just we think that we are bound and therefore we are bound. When we leave this misconception and with firm belief in our scriptures and the sages that advise us, our teachers, our guru, when we take ourselves as liberated, then liberated we were, even though in the period of ignorance also. But of course, to experience that and have its benefits, then we have to cleanse our adjuncts, all upadhis. One person came and said, "Oh, please liberate me. Please free me from the shackles of the samsara." So this teacher went and just embraced one pole very tightly and then cried and shouted, "Oh, please free me, please liberate me from this holding of this bondage of this post." Then this person came and, "You yourself have hugged it, you yourself has caught it tightly, you leave it and you are free." So he said, "That's what I want to tell you. You are ever free. You just assert your liberation." And how that all the spiritual practices and scriptures tell you. So Jnanatrupto Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupasah Evam Nama Archito Bhuyat Prasanno Varado Guru. In this way, I do my worship of Guru with the flowers of names, as he said in the second shloka. Prasanno Varado Guru. May my teacher Bhuyat, may my teacher be pleased with me. May he propitiated with me, get propitiated with me. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadguru Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. In this way, Guruji has composed this beautiful Chinmaya Naamaamrit Stotram. So many Vedantic concepts and fine processes, prakriya, apavad, adhyaropa apavad, anvaya vyatireka, they come here. The theory of limitation, theory of reflection, whatever we have reflected little bit, that we offer to his feet. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari